All right, next thing, I'm going to run down the Evocati PTU notes for 4.4. They were posted publicly. And then we could do a little AMA on what I experienced. So it came out at about 11 p.m. Eastern time last night. And I played it until about 3 a.m. Eastern. And then I started to work a little bit on weekend review with that. So I did the best I could to stay on top of things. All right, let's look at these notes here. So it says server config 622. It didn't feel like that. It felt very rough in Nix, especially around Delamar and Levski. So this patch does not contain all the intended features, which will be added iteratively, and the notes, it'll become available. Cool. Testing feedback, stability, and bug fixes. Stability? Pretty good. I had one client crash in that like 4-hour period. New system, Nix, Delamar, and Levski. That's your focus. That's it. Known issues. Levski hangers appear to be crashing clients. That's not where my crash was. Levski hangers were fucking great. They were fine. There was lots of talk about how they weren't going to be. They were fine. They told us that we should probably jump from another system into Nix. And I was like, yeah, true. I think that would be sweet. Maybe the jump point looks different. The Stanton Nix jump point is where the on the far left of the map in Stanton. What was that? I keep saying Magda in my head, but that's the name of the Hurston moon. It began with an M, though. Far left of the Stanton map. Magnus. Thank you. That's now the Nix gate. In Pyro, it is bottom left of the map. And in Pyro, this was funny. This is where I decided to join in. So I didn't get to Nix very early. I got to it very late. You could not see the marker for the jump point in Pyro. You could see quantum markers for any other points, but not the jump point in Pyro. So I think I was pretty big brain. I jumped to Dudley and Sons, the furthest left, like south west portion of the map. And that completely intersected with Pyro 4 and 5 and the jump point, that area. So I jumped to Dudley. I looked at Pyro 4 and 5. I went on the map and I found it was Rab Victory, I think it was. And I set my route to that. I aligned my ship. I unselected the route. And then I routed to the jump point. Bang. Started spooling. And I jumped to nothing. And I was brought to... Yeah, emergent exploration, exactly. So I was brought to a jump point. Copy, paste. And I said this to who I was in voice comms with when I was jumping through. Man, I got to get out of this mentality. And he was like, what's that about? That everything has to be unique and special. Like, why don't we have a unique Nix, jump point system? Like area. Why, it wasn't like super different in color. It wasn't a drastic difference. Also in Stanton, they did the lore thing, which is really cool, I think, or in Pyro, I can't remember as well. But The Stanton one, there is an icon as if it is a transient jump point, even though it's not. Which is I thought that was a nice touch and very cool to keep with the immersion of, hey, this motherfucker's going to close at some point. Did they rename the Pyro jump gate yet? Gotta say I didn't look. Not really relevant to my interests. Who cares? Because I was just Knicks focused, you know? So then I jumped through. It was pretty much exactly the same. I don't know if the route was exactly the same. The colors were the same. The music was the same. Bang. Then you also can't route to Levski once you get there. So I used my big brain again, and I took a cargo mission that has a pickup at Levski. Now I have my route marker. I start quantuming there. It's kind of, I think it was 12 gigameters, not far at all. Quantum there, bang, come out. I'm in the Glacium Belt. Fucking rocks everywhere. Light blue, exactly what you saw at CitizenCon. I have no idea why there is an NDA on visuals when they showed everything at CitizenCon, and there wasn't an NDA on visuals for Pyro. There was so much less shown of Pyro than there was Knicks. Very weird. So I get to Levski. You come out at 78 kilometers away. So they don't bring you in close. You're very far away, and you have to fly in. Very immersive. Actually, something I enjoyed about it the first couple times. I don't know if I'll enjoy it long term. But you're flying through the Glacium Belt, and I'm looking left, I'm looking right. The visuals that we saw do not do it justice. They cooked. It's amazingly immersive. Well done. Like, well fucking done. Everything about Delamar and the Glacium Belt was like well fucking done. Now, once you get closer, like Druval's pointing out, we go down to a fairly low frame rate. I think I was probably getting in the high single digits and low teens for a bit on the way in, but it wasn't horrible for me personally. And people were complaining about it, and I was like, it wouldn't be lag ski if it wasn't like this. I felt at home. It was great. It was fantastic. I felt at home. It was perfect. First thing I did, land in the station, didn't look into Levski at all, went directly to my hangar and spawned a Hull C. I was doing an interstellar mission. Okay? I was going to do an interstellar mission. Let's fucking go. I'm checking out these freight elevators. Actually, before I ever landed in the hangar, I went straight to the freight elevator. And the freight elevator is as good and bad as you would imagine it would be. They're all open. You do not request one. One is not given to you. That's bad. So it's completely free and open for anybody to use each one. They are huge, which is awesome. So much, I think, significantly bigger than any freight elevator that we have in our hangars, it appears. I don't know what the maximum was. I'm sorry. I should have looked. I didn't. If anyone has information of what the max is, feel free to type it in the chat. But everything is one level. They don't stack on top of each other from what I can tell. There's a little platform that you go to, and it works like a freight elevator. It opens, it closes. but it's completely open. And anybody can just walk up there with a tractor beam and just rip your shit off. If you get off of the freight elevator terminal, it looks like anybody can just send it down. We have not learned our lessons at all. I think I saw the max was 2,500-ish SCU when I looked. That would be double what the max is at a station. So pretty big. But we don't know if that's true or not. So take that message with a grain of salt. But cool. Thank you, Steven. Not great. All right. But the good news there is you are in an armistice zone. And if you are playing in a group, all you got to do is stay on the terminal. Do not leave the terminal. Nobody can send your shit down. If anybody is stealing your cargo, I think you are able to give them a crime stat, and you could shoot at them, or the station will shoot at them, or something. Like, this is not an elegant solution at all. They are building upon a broken foundation, which we told them about. Not when we played freight elevators for the first time, but when they literally showed external freight elevators at an outpost in an image. I went on an hour-long rant as to how this was going to be dog shit, and guess what? It's dog shit. So this will continue to perpetuate that shit, and whatever. How's the crime stat in Levski? Oh, you know what? Did not do any criminal activity. It's hard to, because it's Evocati and you can't just shoot at random people. So I don't know if there's a stat system, but we were in a monitored zone. So I just made the assumption that we would get stats because it's monitored. Okay. Then I did the Interstellar mission. It was only about 60-something SCU of cargo, and I took out the whole sea. Because you would think, if we're focused on interstellar cargo missions, maybe the studio would be focused on fixing dog shit with the whole sea. Maybe that would be ready to go, right? All of the problems with the whole sea. So instead of using the freight elevator and manually using a cargo ship and just taking the cargo off and using it, I decided, let's see if I can call for the little cargo box, go in there and have it automatically load. Guess what? It works. It automatically loads. Well, excuse me, it gives you the box to automatically load. It only loaded half the cargo. The classic problem with the mission. So nothing, as far as I'm aware, have been done to the whole sea for that PTU. The whole sea gets its like occasional love here and there, but it doesn't appear to have it in that PTU. So that sucked. So I got half the cargo, and I flew it to... I had to fly it to Area 18 from Nix. Do you remember where I told you the jump point was? In Stanton? The jump point is not far from Delamar to go to Stanton. 12 gigameters, something like that, from Stanton. Very close. So I fly my 12 gigameters. I go through the jump point. All good. Remember where it was? The Magnus Gate. The very far left of the map. Where did I need to go to drop it off? The very bottom right of the map. 95 gigameters of quantum travel. And I had a whole sea. And we were dropping off at Area 18, which you can't do. Because Area 18 doesn't have external freight elevators. Payout was, 63K, I think. It was like an intro mission. So I I ended up, going to Baijini, removing the cargo, putting it on a C1 with Wanted Tiger, and we dropped it off. QT costs more? No, it doesn't. It was 4K for fucking QT for 2 million quantum fuel. Shut up, quantum travel costs more. You're out of your mind. So yeah, that was just like a mistake of mine. But again, interstellar cargo, we need these freight elevators externally or a system to be able to drop off or whatever everywhere. And unfortunately, like the whole seed not going to the planet does kind of suck. But yeah, we did it at Baijini and then moved it. No problem. There were no, as far as I can see, exterior freight elevators at Baijini Point. If you're doing manually loading, what's the point of the new freight elevator? It's a place where the whole C can do it. Because you can't manually load a whole C inside of a hangar. Any sized hangar right now. Okay, so that was that. It worked. And we flew all the way back to Pyro. And then the goal was to do missions. But before I did that, I needed to take a tour of Levski. It was fun. Levski is very much the same. Now, Delamar, the exterior, absolutely cooked. Incredible. Incredible. Like, do you remember what Delamar used to be? It was just a sphere. The again, the visuals that we have seen over the last 2 years do not do it justice. Being there, flying around, and because it was so populated, it felt alive. It felt real. It was. I got I have chills thinking about it. It felt like an MMO city. It was fantastic. It was amazing. They cooked so hard. Now, will Delamar be full and busy after the first day that you can go there? Almost certainly not. That is a feeling and a sound that I will never get bored of, but I don't think I will have that feeling or sounds ever again. Of course, when I first go down and into the cavern of Delamar, first fucking thing I see is an Idris. Some jerk off in his solo Idris, flexing on everyone, causing everyone's frame rate to be low. Fuck that guy. Not testing at all, just fucking ruining everything. I'd nuke him. Yeah, you can't. Again, it's a monitor zone. So you can't PvP in Evo, but he was PvPing our frame rate. And yeah, so then that's when I went and looked at the freight elevators. So anyway, now I walk around Levski, and I think the biggest change is the transit system within Levski. So remember the main elevator that would go up and down? It was the highlight of the CitizenCon or the Gamescom that they showed with it. Look at this elevator. You can look outside of it and see it moving. That one, that that elevator is now a train that comes and goes on its own schedule and just rotates. It is not a system of a button. I would like to go here. Nope. There are 4 floors, and it just rotates between the floors. And you get out when you get to the floor that you want. I wish I took notes on this because I can't remember which floor had what. Druval, if you remember, feel free to write it in the chat. I'm actually going to write it down on my notes. The first floor, I believe, was like the hangars. The second floor, it was like floor 0, 1, 2, 3. So floor 0, I think, was the hangars. Gonna take a picture. Hold on. Okay, perfect. Yeah, and then just share it in Discord. Thank you. Yeah, I'll be ready. Put it in the chat. Perfect. Oh, it looks like somebody mined, but when they went to go refine it, it didn't show up in the mining refinery. Even the one you took had nothing. Okay, so no pictures there. I could look back and find it. I took some screenshots as well, but regardless, doesn't really matter. There was a hangar level. There was like the consumer level, I would call it, which is where the little mini mall was, and where you used to go buy the. You remember we would buy the hacking chips there? They had like the special ones. Recco Battaglia's in. I cannot remember what floor she's on. Yeah, the Grand Barter area. It's all there. Still just Tiger Claws now, but they're there. They're on a table. But what was interesting is where the Tiger Claws were being sold was like off to the side, and the guy was like a hacker. It was that was completely redone, and it appears like this guy might be a mission giver of some kind at some point, like a Bit Zero mission giver is what I think was there. Let me write that down actually for weekend review. There we go, just so I don't forget. Did I see Gray's Market? No, doesn't exist, as far as I'm aware. I did go to the cargo deck thing, and I immediately went to the admin. And I went and looked. Recco is back. She is just like an old school NPC where she turns around, talks to you, and then you have the inner thought menu, and you have three options. She asks you a question, and you can answer it two different ways. She responds, or you could say goodbye. There's no missions, nothing related to her anywhere on the Moby-Glass. But I was missing missions from the Moby-Glass that other people had. So I never, unfortunately, saw a Vandal. And I never got any cool missions. It was really unfortunate. It was really annoying. So that's Recco for now. Her head didn't twist around and get all psychopathic. It was a normal interaction, which was kind of nice. Nyx can be made your home location, yes. The cargo deck, just to get back on topic, cargo deck and new things. Let's roll all the way back to my first moment landing at Levski. There are mushrooms on the outside of it. They're not just art. You can harvest them. And that mushroom was called Miner's Horn. And Miner's Horn is used in crafting structures. It already had the tooltip. Very strong mycelium that is used to craft structures. So what appears to be our first base building material. You know what? I didn't try to eat it. Good question, actually. I should have. So that was there. That was not, as far as I'm aware and remember, not on the admin terminal. But what was at the very bottom were 3 items that I made the assumption at the time were minables based on their pricing. You had a very low-priced item, a medium-priced item, and a high-priced item. The tiered system that has been applied to mining since its inception, basically. I cross-checked these on Google. They are not real items, like not real things in the real world. They are made-up sci-fi materials. Ceruleum, Saurilium, 19,000 per SCU. Lindinium, Lindiuin, something like that. I can't even read my handwriting here. Lindinium, something around that. Was like the mid-grade one, like around 2,000-3,000 per SCU. And then Torite, Torite. Those 3 were there. Then out in our exploration of the Glacium Belt, we found asteroids with those material in them. Okay, so those are new minables confirmed that are probably Levski exclusive. Now, I do have an image now of the elevator. I can't show it to you, obviously, so I have to be very careful here. Okay. The zero deck, cargo services, and the airlock to the exterior. The 1 deck, security, Mercy Hospital, which is very cavernous, very cool looking hospital. It's fantastic. Home Hearth Habs, which is where you spawn in, Alliance Residences, and Teach's Ship Shop. Gotta say, I did not go to Teach's, but yeah, so I don't know what the collection of ships that you can buy there is currently. Level 2 is the Grand Barter Market that I told you about. Conscientious Objects, the Armor Store, Cafe Musain, Borehole Station Ventilation System. That I missed. But I think we did walk around it. And I think that's where Recco is. I don't think that's the sewers. I did not spawn in a hangar or hotel. I spawned outside the system and jumped in. But then when I did spawn there, I spawned in a hab. Oh no, I spawned in my hangar. Excuse me. Level 3 is refinery or sales supplies in the control room. Boys, the refinery is so good. Like, I remember the first time I went to a refinery at a Stanton station and was like, wow, this is immersive. They took it up a notch. They took it up a notch with these. Really, really nice. Next thing is hangars.
Another one.
Okay. My wife's making fun of me. The next thing is hangars. It's an asteroid belt hangar, which is very, very cool. It's like bored out. It is not the asteroid hangar that we had in the old days. Am I being picked on? No, not at all. This is like my YouTube comment section right here the whole time.
Another one. It's fantastic. It's perfect. It's amazing.
Okay.
You got to take my word for it.
Yeah, because we can't show it to you because Star Citizen.
You got to take my word for it, though. But I'm telling you, best clouds in gaming.
There are no clouds there, okay? It's all about the asteroids. That's what it's about.
Best
right now.
asteroids in gaming.
Yes.
All right?
Yes.
Best asteroids.
Okay.
Okay.
All right.
Do I need to leave?
Yes, because I'm trying to tell them something, and you're distracting me. And I'm losing my train of thought.
He was trying to tell me a story yesterday. It took him 45 minutes to get to the point of the story.
How long is this recording? This recording is currently 28 minutes, so we're doing good. I'm a little bit better than that because I'm almost done.
20. I feel bad for you guys. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that you have to watch this stream.
They don't have to. They choose to.
They choose to? Oh,
yes.
Okay.
So what's wrong with them?
What's wrong with that?
Anyway, the asteroid hangars. I had an extra large I saw and a medium. Very, very good. It's basically your hangar, the normal hangar structure of like the Selfland hangar style, but so like not high tech. But they've added the immersion to it of you could see the cutout of the asteroid and stuff. So you feel like you're in an asteroid. They did a great job with it, but they did not like the drastic difference between a Stanton and a Pyro hangar does not exist. It's like the in-between with that. Item kiosks are there. Yeah. I mean, they're just copy-pasted everywhere. I don't know what else you want to know about them. Let's keep going through the notes, though, because I think probably the biggest, best change of the whole thing is the PDC changes. I don't know why they're calling PDCs, PDTs. Like, it's confusing. Are they different? I don't think so. I'm going to assume this is what a PDC is on a Polaris. Their alpha damage is now reduced by 50%. So their DPS decrease is very big. Because we don't need them just annihilating ships where you can literally just solo any content in the game, stand still, and never die. Right? That's number one. And I think using them as PvP defense is also a little bit problematic from that standpoint. They were too strong. They were overpowered. They have reduced their power. I like that they're going this direction because then they can still shoot at ships and be an annoyance to a ship that's coming in, but the actual ship defense, the defenses of a Polaris, Idris, Perseus, and other larger ships are going to be manned turrets, not PDCs, is my hope through this. And I hope that if they need to, that they will reduce the alpha damage even more if this isn't enough. So with that, they had to also decrease the health of a torpedo so the PDCs can actually do their jobs, right? So that's good. Fantastic. And then ship updates. This is not my forte, but apparently the F-8C is buffed, and the Anvil Hawk, Arrow, and Scythe are adjusted, but we don't know in what way. And then medium interceptor tuning improvements for flight performance. I'm assuming to make these better. Saber, Raven, Firebird, Buccaneer, Herald, and Mantis. But don't know in what way. Now, this is actually a big section here. These are a lot of the bugs that we're dealing with in 4.3.2 are in this. I don't know if you will see these bugs listed ever again, these bug fixes listed outside of this post. So if you are wondering, is in 4.4, are they going to fix my bug? It's in the Evo post, if they are, most likely, right? So 40,000 error that people have, that's in here. Commodities that can't be sold at TDDs, that's in here. The security key code in Onyx facilities being fixed, that's in here. Failing, this is the whole C thing. This is a whole C issue. Fixed. This worked for me, by the way. Although I did stay parallel, so I don't know. Ursa Medevac, medical screen. I don't know anything about this one. Orange armor loot boxes aren't interactable. That's in this one. Purchasing cargo directly to a stored vehicle is not possible, and you cannot select an amount for selected commodity. That's in here. Wicklow mission fixes are in here. Mining UI HUD are not working when targeting a mineable from mining turrets. That's in here. PDCs not working. That's in here. Metals not persisting between patches. I mentioned that earlier. That's in here. We won't see that until the patch goes live, though. We won't be able to know. So I'm going to need to get some metals on live this week. I don't see anything else, but like lots of bug fixes that are worth pointing out. Oh, here's all your issues with Wicklow turn-ins. Not working, being bad, right? That's in there. Look at how many bugs there are. Oh, here's another one from a most recent patch. Construction material, scrap, rebel, and salvage names are cut off when viewing it from the refinery kiosk. That was annoying. So that's in there. And yeah. Cool. Right? Lots of good bug fixes. So overall, I think that the most important things in the Nix patch are not Nix. I think it's fixes to issues with PDCs, lots of bug fixes, and then you have this kind of empty star system with not a whole lot going on in it. Very limited mission set. We did a patrol mission, and we did a bounty mission. All of them were of seemingly that pirate group that is, was mentioned at CitizenCon, none of them were wearing the armor that was shown at CitizenCon. Are you saying all the potential fixes haven't been fixed? No, I'm just saying that they're listed there. That if there is a bug that you are frustrated with in 4.3.2, that they're attempting to fix it in 4.4, not necessarily for a hot fix in 4.3.2. What was the DD spread across Stanton, Pyro, Nyx? 226, with 6 being in Stanton. What about the new stations? I could not get to them. There were no quantum markers for them, and I did not get a single mission that sent me to one. Unfortunately. I do have some notes from somebody else who played them, who did get the mission. Let's see. New facilities are in. The QVCs. We're fighting Vandal now. And I just said, so you're fighting AI and Vandal ships. Nothing special about that. And he said something about the shops in the next jump point doesn't have anything, so those are kind of meh. You could set your spawn at the QV logistics station. And he just said Vandal tech smugglers, Vandal corpse commodities. So yeah, there is content that's there, and I just wasn't able to see it. Do you actually see this coming to this month? Yeah, they're gonna ship it. They're gonna send it. If they have to cut stuff from it, they will. Any new animals in Nyx? Brother, there's no planets. I don't think I made that very clear. There's no planets. How can there be animals? Did I see the candle red smudge in space? Yep, that's there. Any ETA? No. So, yeah, nothing running around the station. No. Not even like a slug from Pyro. It's just rocks, brothers. It's all rocks. That's it. I think there will be planets post 4.4. I think it was mentioned here, right? Not the 3 planets, Nyx 1, 2, and 3. For the initial tests, we're expecting cross-system hauling exterior freight elevators to partially function, but we're not collecting feedback on this just yet. The mushrooms are in 0G. Yep. They're on the rocky portions of Delamar. Very cool. Very cool. Nice little touch there. I like that. Yeah, that's all I really have on it. It was what most of us expected to be. A rushed out, empty husk of a system with lots of potential to build on that we will see it built on over the year. And I am totally fine with that. That doesn't make me mad at all. It was beautiful. It was immersive. It was fantastic. I hope, visually fantastic. And like everything with Star Citizen, it would be really cool if they built a game in it. But that doesn't seem to be their priorities right now. So, yeah. But again, only one crash and no server errors. So that's kind of strong.